Your credit score is incredibly important in your financial life. It determines whether you get loans, the interest rate you pay on those loans, and the terms you get for any borrowing. But it also can determine whether or not you can get an apartment. It can help determine your insurance rates, your premiums, and employers can also look at your credit information to determine whether or not to give you a job, to hire you, or promote you. So credit is becoming incredibly important, and you really need to know how to boost your credit score when you need a loan or a job or an apartment. So the first thing you should do if you're in the market to improve your score is pull your credit reports. You can get copies of all 3 of your credit reports from the 3 major bureaus at one site, and that's annualcreditreport.com. Be aware there's a lot of lookalike sites, a lot of sites that are trying to sell you something. Your annual credit reports are free, and you can get, as I said, a copy of each one from annualcreditreport.com. Once you get copies of your credit report, go through it and look for serious errors. Now, a serious error is not simply an old address being listed or an old employer or a slight misspelling of your name or variations of your name. A serious error is something like an account that isn't yours, a negative mark or like a late payment, a default that's on your account or on your report for more than 7 years. In the case of bankruptcy, it can be up to 10 years. But anything over 7 years that's a less major negative mark should drop off after that period of time. You also want to look to see how many inquiries are on there. That's not necessarily a huge negative, but you want to see who's been checking up on you and on your credit. Once you've been through your credit report, if you find serious mistakes, go ahead and dispute them. When you get your reports online, there'll be a little button that you can push to dispute various items on your credit report. Give the reason why, and wait to hear back from the credit bureaus. Sometimes the process is very easy and those negative marks are taken off. Other times, the creditor or lender will say, no, this is actually the truth, so you have to take your fight up with the creditor or the lender. If you wind up in a situation where the creditor won't back down, you might consider hiring an attorney just to write a letter. Sometimes spending a couple $100 on an attorney is better than paying thousands of dollars in extra interest because of a mistake. The next thing you want to do to improve your score is look how you're using your credit cards. It's very important to keep your credit balances well below your credit limits. You want to use 30% or less of your available credit limit at any point in time. And remember that the credit bureaus, your credit reports, and your credit scores don't really distinguish between balances you pay off every month and balances you carry every month. What it looks at is the balance that's reported by the creditor the last time around, usually the last month, the balance that was on your last statement. So you want to make sure that you're not maxing out your cards, even if you're paying it off in full every month. You want to keep it to 30% or less at any given time during the month. Now, if you really want to see a boost in your scores, get that credit utilization down below 10%. That does the maximum good for your score. A couple other things you should keep in mind while you're trying to improve your credit scores is that closing accounts can never help your score, and it may hurt it. This is not the time to go running around and closing a bunch of retail accounts or major credit card accounts. Leave your accounts open, at least for now, until your credit score is where you want it to be. Another thing to keep in mind is that you shouldn't be opening new accounts, or you should be very careful about the new accounts you open. Every time you open a new account, you risk damaging your score. So make sure that you get your credit score up and you get the major loan that you're after, like a mortgage or an auto loan, before you open any new accounts. Those are some ideas to help you boost your credit score and get the credit you deserve.